Kia ora, and welcome to Friday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news that we have unexpectedly weak data from China and unexpectedly strong data from Australia. But first in the US, it is back to work for their federal government after the record 43-day shutdown impasse ends, at least until January the 30th, when the current deal needs renewal again. Missed official data releases there may in fact be skipped, so there may not be a catch-up until the next scheduled releases. Meanwhile, American companies continue with their big job cuts. Across the Pacific and China, their new yuan loan levels for October came in unexpectedly weak. They dropped sharply to just 220 billion yuan, down from 1.3 trillion yuan in September and 500 billion yuan in October last year. Markets had expected 500 billion this time, so the actual data underscores the continued weakness in credit demand there. To put it in perspective, apart from July's unusual dip, this October result is their weakest of any month in at least 10 years. After a disappointing retreat in August, EU industrial production bounced back far less in September than expected. It is now only up 1.2% from a year ago, less than the expected 2.1% rise most analysts had anticipated. They will be disappointed, but for them at least it is still growing in real terms. In Australia, they delivered another very strong set of employment data, with jobs expanding by 42,000 and full-time jobs expanding by 55,000. Their jobless rate fell more than expected to 4.2%. This, along with inflation above target, will have the RBA thinking hard about their December 9 cash rate target, which is currently at 3.6%. Aussie bond yields spiked higher on the news, taking the New Zealand bond yields up with them. Australian consumer inflation expectations slipped slightly to 4.5% in November from 4.8% in October, the lowest reading since August. Actual CPI inflation in September there came in at 3.5%. Also in Australia, the opposition Liberal Party has dumped its commitment to net zero policies, a capitulation that will likely isolate it further from the electorate. It will now really struggle to hold the big city electorates it has from spirited challenges by Teal candidates. It's an odd compromise they've committed to by staying in the Paris Agreement. But without net zero, that's just greenwashing, which will fool no one. We are probably witnessing the demise of a political party that once was their natural governing political force. Australia will now need a proper Liberal opposition to Labor, one likely born out of the Teals. Just as the Aussie Liberals were making that Trumpist decision, the IEA released its 2025 World Energy Outlook. It concluded that technology has moved so fast that, quote, options to reduce emissions substantially are well understood and in many cases cost-effective, unquote. From here, staying with fossil fuels will come with cost penalties, it seems. Globally, freight rates for containerised cargoes slipped 5% this past week, mainly on China-US rates, although China-EU rates rose marginally. Overall, that makes them 46% lower than year-ago levels. Bulk freight rates are little changed this week to be 25% higher than year-ago levels. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.10%, up 4 basis points from yesterday at this time. And the price of gold will start today at $4,198 an ounce, up another $8 from yesterday. It is rising again, but it is still below the record $4,350 an ounce on October the 21st. Silver is moving up too, now at $53 an ounce, but again still lower than its recent peak of $54.50 on October the 17th. American oil prices have recovered 50 US cents from yesterday to be just on $59 a barrel, while the international Brent price is just over $63 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is now just on 56.7 US cents and up 10 basis points from yesterday. Against the Aussie, we've held at 86.6 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're down 10 basis points at 48.7 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just under 61.2 and little change from yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $101,032, down another 0.6% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has again been modest, at just on plus or minus 1.5%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and We'll do this again on Monday.